He's the man who dreams of Mars. Close up on Elon Musk's face, eyes sharp but tired, sitting in a sleek studio chair. Elon Musk, the guy who builds rockets, electric cars, and brain chips. The world knows him as a genius, a rebel, a man who laughs at limits. But tonight, something's different. Soft music swells, a low hum of suspense. There's a weight in his gaze, a flicker of something personal, something nobody expects. The camera zooms out, revealing the studio. A polished desk, a nervous host adjusting his tie, and a live audience holding their breath. The air feels electric, like the moment before a storm. The host, Mike Carter, leans forward, his smile professional but curious. "Elon, thanks for being here," he says, voice steady. "Let's talk about SpaceX, AI, the future." The crowd nods, expecting the usual. Bold predictions, tech talk, maybe a joke about colonizing the moon. But Elon doesn't answer right away. His fingers tap the armrest, a rare hesitation. "I want to talk about something else," Elon says, his voice quieter than usual, almost gentle. The camera catches Mike's eyebrows shoot up. The control room freezes. Producers whisper frantically behind monitors. Cut to a producer's panicked thought flashing on screen. "This isn't on the script." The audience shifts in their seats, sensing a shift. Social media's already lighting up. Overlay of X posts. "What's Elon doing?" Flashback. A grainy image of a younger Elon, hunched over a computer in a dim room, code glowing on the screen. Years ago, he was just a kid with big dreams, chasing answers to life's biggest questions. Why are we here? Where are we going? He built empires to find those answers, SpaceX to reach the stars, Tesla to save the planet. But lately, those dreams feel heavy. Cut to Elon alone at night, staring at a starry sky, his face etched with doubt. Success hasn't filled the void. Money, fame, inventions, they're not enough. Something's missing. Back to the studio, present day. Elon leans forward, his voice steady but raw. "I've been thinking about Jesus," he says. The crowd gasps softly. Mike blinks, caught off guard. "Jesus," he repeats, trying to keep his cool. "That's unexpected. What about him?" The studio feels smaller now, like the world's holding its breath. Slow-motion shot of an audience member gripping their phone, tweeting, "Elon said Jesus!" Viral. Elon takes a deep breath, his eyes distant. "I've spent my life looking forward, building the future, solving problems. But lately, I've been looking back. At history, at wisdom we've ignored." His words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. The host nods, still unsure, but the audience is hooked. They lean forward, phones forgotten. This isn't the Elon they know. This is a man wrestling with something deeper, something human. Cut to a close-up of Elon's hands, fidgeting slightly, betraying his calm exterior. He's nervous, vulnerable. The man who stares down critics and launches rockets is opening his heart on live TV. Why? What's driving him to risk his image, his brand, his carefully built reputation? The music softens, a single piano note echoing. Is it a midlife crisis? A publicity stunt? Or something real? Something that could change everything? The camera pulls back, showing the studio bathed in warm light, the crowd silent. Mike glances at his notes, then sets them aside. He's in uncharted territory now. "Elon," he says, voice softer, "what exactly about Jesus has you so curious?" The question lands like a spark. Everyone waits. The screen fades to black-white text appearing. What will he say next? The studio lights burn brighter, the air thick with anticipation. The camera zooms in on Elon Musk, his face a mix of resolve and unease. White text fades in. He's about to change everything. Elon's words linger like a spark in dry grass. Jesus, he repeats, softer now, as if testing the weight of the name. The crowd leans forward, phones buzzing, X exploding with hashtags. Ak Elon Jesus. Ak what is happening? Mike, the host, grips his pen, his professional smile faltering. Okay, Elon, he says, voice tight. Tell us more. What's got you so hooked on Jesus? The camera catches a producer in the control room, mouthing, Keep rolling. Elon shifts in his seat, his fingers clenching. It started months ago, he says, eyes distant. I was alone, burned out. Everything. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink. It wasn't enough. I felt hollow. Flashback. Elon in a dark office, staring at a flickering screen, his face gaunt. Papers pile up, unread. A half-empty coffee cup sits cold. I picked up a Bible, almost by accident, and Jesus' words, they hit me. Hard. His voice cracks, just for a second. The audience is silent, but the tension is deafening. Cut to X posts flashing across the screen. Is Elon okay? This feels too real. Mike leans in, sensing a crack in Elon's armor. What words, exactly? He presses, his tone sharp, almost skeptical. Elon hesitates, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. The ones about love, he says finally. About forgiving enemies. About giving everything for others. They're radical. Impossible, even. The camera zooms in on his eyes, searching, haunted. Suddenly, a sharp buzz cuts through the studio. Mike's earpiece crackles. His face tightens. Elon, hold that thought, he says, forced calm. Cut to the control room, chaos erupting. A producer yells, The network's freaking out. They want us to pivot. Now! The screen flashes with an X post from a major news outlet. Elon's spiritual talk is tanking stocks. Investors demand answers. The music surges, urgent, pulsing. Elon doesn't hear the chaos, but he feels the shift. His jaw tightens, a spark of anger in his eyes. He's bared his soul on live TV, and now the world's pushing back. Hard. Flashback. A memory of a boardroom, suits glaring at him. Stick to tech, Elon, one says. This spiritual stuff? It's a liability. The weight of their words crashes over him now, heavier than ever. He's not just fighting skepticism, he's risking his empire. Cut back to the studio. Mike's voice cuts through, colder now. Elon, some viewers are saying this sounds convenient. A billionaire finding Jesus? Is this a PR move? The question stings, sharp and personal. The crowd murmurs, a mix of curiosity and doubt. An X post pops up. Elon's lost it. This is just damage control. Check yourself, Tesla. Elon's face hardens, but his voice stays steady. I get why people think that, he says. I'd be skeptical too. But this isn't a stunt. It's me, trying to figure out what matters. Slow-motion shot of Elon's hand gripping the chair, knuckles white. Inside, he's spiraling. Inner thought, flashing on screen. They'll tear me apart for this, but I can't stop now. Every word he says is a step deeper into a storm he didn't expect. Investors are panicking. His team's texting furiously, begging him to backtrack. Cut to a quick montage. Headlines screaming, Elon's meltdown, tech titan goes religious. The world's watching, judging, and it feels like a trap closing around him. Yet, something in Elon shifts. His eyes burn with defiance. Jesus challenged everyone, he says, voice rising. He didn't play it safe. He spoke truth, even when it cost him. I'm not saying I'm him, but I can't stay silent. The crowd gasps, some nodding, others shaking their heads. Mike's eyes widen, caught off guard by the intensity. So, you're ready to risk it all for this? He asks, almost a whisper. Elon nods, a fire in his gaze. Maybe I have to. Upward. Music swells, dark and urgent. The camera pulls back, showing the studio in chaos, crew whispering, audience buzzing, X feeds flooding with reactions. But then, a new obstacle emerges. Mike's earpiece buzzes again. His face pales. Elon, he says, voice shaking. We're getting reports. Your board just called an emergency meeting. They're talking about removing you. The crowd gasps, a collective shock wave. Elon freezes, his breath catching. The screen fades to black, bold text burning in. Will he lose everything? The studio is a pressure cooker. Lights glaring, cameras locked on Elon Musk. His face is pale, eyes wide, as the host's words echo. They're talking about removing you. The screen pulses with X posts. Elon out? Tesla board in crisis. He's done for. The music is a low, throbbing hum, like a heartbeat on the edge of breaking. Elon sits frozen, his hands gripping the chair so tight the leather creaks. Close up, his knuckles are white, trembling. The air feels heavy, suffocating. The crowd is silent, but their eyes bore into him, some with pity, others with judgment. Flashback. A younger Elon, standing alone in a boardroom, fighting to keep SpaceX alive. You're crazy, they said then. He proved them wrong. But now, the doubt crashes over him like a wave. Has he gone too far? Has this one moment, bearing his soul on live TV, ruined everything he's built? Cut to the control room, producers in a frenzy. Cut to commercial, one shouts, but the director shakes her head. No way, this is gold. X feeds flood. The screen. Elon's cracking. I can't look away. Praying for him. This is raw. Mike, the host, leans forward, his voice softer now, almost human. Elon, this is huge. Your board, your companies, what's going through your mind right now? Elon's lips part, but no words come. Inner thought, flashing on screen. I've lost it all. Everything. His chest tightens, breath shallow. He sees it all collapsing. SpaceX grounded. Tesla sold off. His dreams mocked. Flashback. Late nights in his car, eating cheap takeout, pouring his life into a vision no one believed in. That fire kept him going then. But now, it's flickering, smothered by the weight of betrayal. His board, people he trusted, turning on him. The world watching, ready to pounce. His shoulders slump, eyes glassy. He's never felt so alone. Slow motion shot. A single bead of sweat rolls down his temple. He starts, voice hoarse. I didn't expect this. The crowd leans in, hanging on every word. Mike's eyes narrow, sensing weakness. "Did you think this wouldn't cost you?" he asks, sharp but not cruel. Elon shakes his head, a bitter smile tugging at his lips. "I thought maybe they'd listen. Maybe they'd see." His voice breaks, raw, exposed. "But I was wrong." The music slows, a haunting piano note. The studio feels smaller, like it's just Elon and his breaking heart. Flashback. A quiet moment. Months ago, Elon alone under a starry sky. A Bible open in his lap. "Love your enemies," he'd read, the words burning into him. That night, he'd felt alive, like he'd found a missing piece. But now, those words feel like a trap. Love his enemies? When they're tearing him apart? Inner thought. Was I a fool to believe this? Suddenly, a murmur ripples through the crowd. A woman in the audience stands, her face soft but determined. The camera zooms in. She's older, her eyes kind, holding a small cross necklace. "Elon," she calls, voice clear. "Don't give up. You're not alone." The crowd gasps, heads turning. Mike's jaw drops. Elon blinks, stunned, like he's waking from a nightmare. X-posts explode. "Who is she?" "This is unreal." The music shifts, a faint spark of hope in the melody. Elon stares at the woman, her words cutting through the fog. Flashback. A memory of his mother, years ago, telling him, "Keep going, Elon, even when it hurts." Something stirs inside. Him, a flicker, fragile but real. He's not done yet. His hands unclench, his breath steadies. "Thank you," he whispers, voice thick with emotion. The woman nods, sitting down, but her words linger like a lifeline. Cut to Mike, scrambling to regain control. "Well, that was unexpected," he says, forcing a laugh. "Elon, what now? Your board's meeting, the world's watching. What's your next move?" Elon leans forward, his eyes burning with a new intensity. "I don't know," he admits, voice steady now. "But I'm not backing down. Not from this. Not from them." The crowd erupts in murmurs, some cheering, others skeptical. The camera pulls back, showing the studio alive with energy. The turning point is here. Elon's not broken, not yet. But the fight's just beginning. X-posts flash. "He's fighting back!" Elon rising. This is bigger than Tesla now. The music swells, urgent, hopeful, but laced with danger. Suddenly, Mike's earpiece buzzes. His face pales. "Elon," he says, voice shaking, "we just got word. Your board's decision. It's happening now. Live." The screen fades to black, bold text, searing. Will he survive the vote? The studio pulses with raw energy, lights blazing, cameras trained on Elon Musk. The screen crackles with X posts. Your Elon board vote. Is this the end? The music is a relentless drumbeat, building to a fever pitch. White text burns in, "The truth is coming." Elon sits rigid, his eyes locked on Mike, the host, who just dropped a bomb. The Tesla board's decision is happening now. Live. Close up. Elon's jaw clenches, a vein pulsing in his neck. The crowd holds its breath, the air thick with dread. Cut to the control room, producers glued to monitors, one whispering, "This could break the internet." Mike's voice cuts through, taut with urgency. "Elon, any second now, we'll know if your board's pulling you out. What's going through your head?" Elon's gaze drops, his hands trembling. Inner thought, flashing on screen. It's over. They've won. The weight of it all, his companies, his dreams, his reckless choice to speak about Jesus, crashes down. Flashback. A fleeting memory of him flipping through a Bible. The words, "Blessed are those who are persecuted," underlined in red. Persecuted? Is that what this is? Or is he just a fool who pushed too far? The camera catches a flicker of despair in his eyes, his breath shallow, ragged. Suddenly, a sharp chime from Mike's tablet. The crowd gasps, heads whipping toward the screen behind him. X posts explode. Here it comes! Elon fired? Mike's face tightens as he reads the update, his voice barely steady. Elon, we have news. The board's vote. It's in. The music screeches to a halt, a single violin note hanging in the air. Elon's head snaps up, his heart pounding so loud he's sure the mics catch it. Slow motion shot. A bead of sweat rolls down his forehead, his eyes wide, searching. Mike hesitates, then reads, "The Tesla board has voted to keep you as CEO." The crowd erupts, cheers and gasps colliding. But Mike's not done. "Wait, there's more," he says, voice dropping. "They're issuing a statement. They say, your recent comments about Jesus have divided stakeholders. They're demanding you retract your statements, publicly, or face consequences." The screen flashes with the statement, bold and cold. Mr. Musk's personal beliefs must not jeopardize Tesla's mission. The camera zooms in on Elon, his face a storm of emotions. Shock, betrayal, rage, inner thought. Retract? They want me to erase who I'm becoming. His chest heaves, fists clenching. This isn't just a board vote, it's an ultimatum. Deny his journey, his truth, or lose everything. Flashback, that starry night, months ago, when he felt the universe whisper purpose. The Bible's words echo in his mind. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? The revelation hits like lightning. This is his test, not of his companies, but of his soul. The crowd murmurs, sensing the shift in him. Mike leans forward, voice low, almost pleading. "Elon, what's it gonna be? Retract or fight?" Elon's eyes burn, a fire igniting where despair once sat. His hands unclench, his posture straightens. "I won't retract," he says, voice low but unyielding. "I can't. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about what's true, what's worth fighting for." The crowd gasps, some cheering, others stunned. X posts flood in. He's doubling down. Elon v's the world. Cut to the woman from the audience, the one with the cross necklace, her eyes shining with tears. Her quiet courage from earlier echoes in Elon's mind, fueling him. Inner thought, she stood up. So can I. The revelation isn't just the board's betrayal, it's the clarity it brings. He's not alone. Millions are watching, questioning, seeking, just like him. This moment, this truth, could spark something bigger than Tesla, bigger than him. Mike's jaw drops, but he recovers fast. "Elon, you're risking it all. Your companies, your legacy. Are you sure?" Elon nods, a fierce calm settling over him. "I've never been surer," he says, voice ringing with conviction. The music surges, triumphant, yet tense. He leans forward, eyes blazing. Jesus didn't back down when they came for him. He spoke truth, no matter the cost. "I'm not saying I'm him, but I'm done playing safe." The studio erupts, cheers and shouts blending into chaos. X posts flash. This is historic. Elon's starting a movement. But the danger's far from over. Cut to the control room. A producer on the phone, voice urgent. The investors are livid. They're planning a countermove. Elon doesn't hear it, but he feels the storm coming. His hand brushes his pocket, where a small, worn Bible rests. A secret he's carried all night. He rises from his chair, a bold move that silences the crowd. "Mike," he says, voice steady, "I'm not done talking, not by a long shot." The camera pulls back, showing the studio alive with energy, the world watching. He's made his choice. No retreat, no surrender. The screen fades to black, bold text searing. He's ready to fight, but at what cost? His studio is a battlefield, lights searing, cameras unblinking. Elon Musk stands tall, defiance in his eyes, the air crackling with raw tension. The screen pulses with X posts. Elon fights back. This is war. The music thunders, a relentless crescendo, as white text blazes. The final stand, Elon's words, "I'm not done talking," hang like a battle cry. Close up, his face, fierce, unyielding, a man pushed to the edge. The crowd roars, some cheering, others shouting in disbelief. Mike, the host, stammers, his composure shattered. "Elon, you're defying your board, your investors, everything. What's next?" The camera catches the control room, producers frozen, one whispering, "He's burning it all down." Outside, the world is ablaze. X feeds flood with millions watching live. Na Elon rebellion. He's unstoppable. The stakes are apocalyptic. If Elon fails now, Tesla could collapse, SpaceX could falter, his legacy reduced to a headline, "Billionaires Breakdown." Flashback. A young Elon, scribbling rocket designs, promising to change the world. That dream hangs by a thread. Investors are circling, ready to pull funding. The board's ultimatum, retract his words about Jesus or lose control, looms like a guillotine. Inner thought, flashing on screen. This is it. Everything I've built. Everything I am. It's now or never. Suddenly, the studio screen flares to life. A live feed from Tesla's boardroom cuts in, unannounced. The crowd gasps, heads whipping toward it. A grim-faced executive, Margaret Voss, stares into the camera. "Mr. Musk," she says, voice icy, "your refusal to retract is reckless. Effective immediately. We're moving to suspend your leadership." The studio erupts in chaos. Boos, cheers, screams. Mike's jaw drops. X posts explode. They're firing him live. "Save Elon! Elon, see!" Breath catches, his knees nearly buckling. The betrayal cuts deeper than any knife. Flashback. Late nights with his team, laughing, building the impossible. Those same allies now turn against him, their faces cold on the screen. His hand slips into his pocket, gripping the small Bible, its worn edges grounding him. "No," he whispers, voice trembling but growing stronger. "You don't get to silence me." The camera zooms in, his eyes blazing, a lion cornered but ready to roar. He steps forward, voice booming. "You want to take Tesla? SpaceX? Fine. But you can't take this." He pulls the Bible from his pocket, holding it high. The crowd explodes, a tidal wave of sound. Slow motion shot. The book catches the light, a symbol of his defiance. "I've spent my life chasing truth," Elon shouts, "and I found it here, in words that challenge us to love, to forgive, to stand for something bigger than profit. X posts flash. He's preaching now. Elon the prophet. Cut to Margaret on the screen, her face twisting. This is about responsibility, Elon, she snaps. Your beliefs are tearing us apart. The accusation lands like a missile, but Elon doesn't flinch. No, he fires back, voice raw. You're tearing us apart by chasing power over purpose. The crowd roars louder, some standing, fists raised. Mike tries to intervene, but his voice is drowned out. Inner thought, I'm losing everything, but I'm finally free. The music hits a fever pitch, strings and drums colliding. The confrontation is no longer just about Elon. It's a clash of worlds. Profit versus meaning. Control versus courage. Flashback. That starry night, Elon reading, "Blessed are those who hunger for righteousness." That hunger surges now, unstoppable. Jesus faced this, he says, voice breaking but fierce. He stood against empires, against betrayal, and he didn't back down. I won't either. Tears glint in his eyes, but his stance is iron. Suddenly, a new voice cuts through. The woman with the cross necklace leaps to her feet again, shouting, "We're with you, Elon!" The camera pans. Others stand, clapping, chanting his name. The studio shakes with their energy, a movement igniting. X posts surge. This is bigger than Tesla. Faith revolution. The board's feed flickers. Margaret's face falters, her confidence cracking. Cut to the control room. The director grins, muttering, "History's happening." Elon's chest heaves, his heart pounding. The revelation from before, his soul over his empire, fuels him now. He turns to the camera, speaking to millions. "This isn't about me," he says, voice steady, electric. "It's about us, what we value, what we fight for. If we lose that, no rocket, no car, no chip matters." The crowd is on its feet, roaring. Mike, swept up, tosses his notes. "Elon, you've started something," he says, voice awed. "What happens now?" The Avi music softens, a triumphant swell. Elon lowers the Bible, his face calm but resolute. "Now," he says, a spark in his eyes, "we build a future worth believing in, together." The camera pulls back, showing the studio transformed. A sea of raised hands, tear-streaked faces, hope reborn. The board's feed cuts out, their power fading. X posts flood. "He won! Our Elon triumph!" The screen fades to black, bold text glowing. The fight is over. The journey begins. The studio lights dim, the roar of the crowd fading to a hushed reverence. The camera lingers on Elon Musk, standing tall, the small Bible still in his hand. The screen hums with X posts, now softer, awestruck. Elon changed everything. This is a new era. The music weaves a gentle melody, like a sunrise after a storm. White text fades in. The journey finds its home. The air feels different now, lighter, as if the world exhaled. Close up, Elon's face, weary but radiant, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. The board's feed is gone, their ultimatum shattered by the tidal wave of support. Flashback. That starry night, months ago, when he first felt the pull of something greater. That lonely seeker is gone, replaced by a man who's faced his crucible and emerged, not unbroken, but remade. His shoulders relax, his breath steady, a quiet smile tugging at his lips. Cut to the crowd. their faces a mosaic of hope and wonder. The woman with the cross necklace wipes her eyes, her nod a silent thank you. Mike, the host, sits back, his notes forgotten, a genuine warmth in his gaze. "Elon," he says, voice soft. "You've just changed the conversation. Not just here, but everywhere. How do you feel?" Elon pauses, his hand brushing the Bible's worn cover. "Alive," he says simply, voice thick. "For the first time in years. Alive." The Ike twist camera pans across the studio, now a sacred space. The aftermath is clear. Elon's empire still stands. But it's more than that. X posts flash. Tesla stocks rebounding. SpaceX team pledges loyalty. Yet the true victory isn't in dollars or deals. It's in the spark he's ignited. A global hunger for meaning, for truth beyond profit. Flashback, a younger Elon, dreaming of Mars, now overlaid with this moment, dreaming of something deeper. He's lost allies, faced betrayal, but gained a purpose that no board can take. Slow motion shot. Elon steps off the stage, the crowd rising in applause. His walk is steady, but each step carries the weight of his journey. Inner thought, flashing on screen. "I risked it all and found myself." He's wiser now, scarred but stronger, carrying a truth he can't unlearn. Cut to a montage. Headlines shift from Elon's meltdown to Elon's awakening. Religious leaders call for dialogue. Tech moguls tweet questions about purpose. Ordinary people share stories of rediscovering faith, art, love. Elon's voiceover breaks through, reflective, poignant. "I used to think success was rockets, cars, colonies on Mars," he says, as the camera shows him in a quiet office, staring at a starry sky. "But Jesus showed me something else. It's not about what we build, it's about why. About loving fiercely, forgiving bravely, seeing the divine in every soul." The music swells, a tender piano weaving through strings. "I'm still learning, still stumbling, but I'm not alone anymore, and neither are you." The screen shifts to the audience at home. You, watching this, what stirred in you? A question unanswered? A dream buried? This journey, Elon's, yours, asks us to look deeper, to seek what lasts beyond headlines, beyond wealth, beyond time. Cut to the woman with the cross, now outside, looking up at the stars, her face peaceful. The world is different tonight, not because one man spoke, but because millions listened. Elon stands alone now, outside the studio, the night air cool against his skin. He slips the Bible into his pocket, his eyes tracing the constellations. Flashback, that first night, the same stars, the same ache for meaning. It's come full circle, not an end, but a beginning. He's not the savior, not a prophet, just a man who dared to ask, to seek, to stand. His breath catches, a single tear falling, not from sorrow, but from gratitude. The camera pulls back, the city skyline glowing, alive with possibility. The music softens, a final note lingering. Elon's voice, steady and sure, delivers the last line. "The universe is vast, but love is vaster. That's worth everything."